In today's project, we're going to take this ordinary hockey mask. We're going to turn it into this Joker mask a la Friday the 13th style. Stay tuned. Okay, to start this build, we start off with the mask. The mask is actually pretty decent quality. It's better than anything I've seen at Halloween stores or those things that come around on the holidays. Get it from two locations. You can get it from China on eBay, or you can get it from Amazon, and they'll send it to you overnight, and I'll put those links below. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the two bottom snaps. Basically, you just use a 5/32 drill bit is what I use. Start drilling into it. They pop right out. Very easy peasy. Just don't put the drill bit through your hand. Next, using 150 grit sandpaper, sand down the entire thing. Okay, we want to get rid of that shininess, and it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. It's okay if there's scratches because it adds to the look of the mask. Next, we draw our mouth. That's what we started with. We draw our mouth with pencil. This way it's something easy to follow with. And we use our Dremel with a cutting blade. We begin to slice away. Here it goes. This is it. This is it. Oh my God. No going back now. And you just start cutting into the mask. And you're not, again, looking for a nice clean cut. You're doing a nice jagged cut, just enough to get through. A lot of this could be fixed up later with sandpaper and some other Dremel bits to make it look good. Just take your time cutting it. You don't cut yourself. I mean, it's not, again, trying to be pretty, but you just want to get it done. Again, we'll touch it up later, but don't hurt yourself during this process. And then the cool thing is this excess plastic right here, this burnt stuck-on stuff, comes right off with a knife. Just scrapes it right off, pops right off. Next, I change my Dremel bit to a finer point bit. It's a stone bit, and I start scraping and widening the edge of the mouth, basically because the cut makes it a straight cut, a 45-degree angle cut, basically from the top. So I start angling it and then go in later with sandpaper. And again, if you look around at it, you can see it's pretty rough cut. Okay, the rougher the better, I think. Again, jagged, just like his face was.
Guys, they got all the information.
Looking pretty good so far.
I know where you are.
Next, we're taking another finer etching tool, and we're going to start to scrape along the eyes. Okay, we're going to work from the inside, work our way out, and scratch it all up. Okay, and make it look rough. The process was a little slow, so I went and got a bigger tool, like another stone tool, and I just started chopping it up, making gouges around the eyes, basically like a sunburst. Okay, from the center out, nice and rough, jagged, uneven, whatever it takes to make it look appropriate. Again, there's no rhyme or there's no wrong way to do it. It's just a matter of getting whatever it is. If you don't have a Dremel, you can use a knife and just gouge into the plastic. You can see around here how it starts getting a little bit of character, okay, because it's really gouging it up and it looks pretty cool. Next, I took it another bit and we just made a couple scuffs on the nose. Nothing spectacular, just a little bit of detail, points of interest, I guess, what I like to say. Scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. All right. And then I went back to the eyes and did some more work on the eyes. And you step back for a little while, you look at it, and you step back again, and you make some more changes. All right. And you can do this however you see fit. Next, I wanted to add some creases to his brow, so I drew some pencil lines to follow. I found using pencil lines to follow makes it a lot easier than just randomly going with the Dremel tool. Okay, so just do that. Gouge into the plastic, go over it a couple times, and we now have a brow furrow. Right? Is that proper? Brow furrow? Cool. Giggity. Looking good. Next, we just put a couple scuff marks along the edges. Again, scuffing up the mask, making it look worn, used. I probably should have done like I did with the brow furrows and then draw some lines first, because you can see the blade, the bit started to wander on me. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like a unique signature, right? A fingerprint. So it's not a big deal. I did little scuffs under the chin also. You can't see it right here, but there will be some under here. Next, we took it outside. And what we did is we used some primer, because you want to primer this good, front and back, because if you hold this mask up to the sun, you can see light through it. Hey Diesel, that's my partner in crime, my shadow. Anyway, so we did the primer coat. After that dried, I used this sand color. I think it was actually ivory, and I gave it a good coat of white throughout the mask, okay, because this is the base coat. This is what we want. So I used 2 coats of this until I got a nice base to it. Now what you missed there that I didn't show, let me go back a second. What I didn't show is after this base coat dried, what I did is then used some white. After the white was on, I did a gloss coat on it, okay, clear coat of gloss. Covered over the entire mask, nice good coat, let it dry. Then I brought in the white, and the white I just dusted over it. I didn't want it to be completely covering the mask. I wanted the original color, the tan color, the skin color to show through. Okay, so we did it blotchy, we did it just a dusting of it. When that was done, I lost the footage of this next step. After that was done, I then took some forest green or hunter green it was, and I just kind of skirted over the sides of the edges. I don't want to say it's hair, but yeah, it's hair, okay, and it's a very dark color, but it's only the base, okay. So when that was done and nice and dry, we brought it inside, and then I got to this color over here. You can see here, this is an acrylic color from, I think it was Americana. That is fresh cut grass, and using the airbrush we painted over the dark green, okay, and blended it in with this. Now that's all rough and it looks kind of bad right now, but it really works out in the end. It'll add to the character of the mask. But we covered most of the hunter green roughly with the fresh cut grass. Okay, so then after that's all dry, now it's time to do some more painting. First off, what we did is I took some more white paint. Okay, this is Ceramcoat white. Put it into a container, and I took this sponge, dabbed it into the paint, and then I just blotted it on the mask. Okay, this is going to make it look like makeup. Okay, and just dabbed it on roughly, not an even coat again, just nice and rough. And also what I did is I went back to some of this overspray over here on the sides of the green and went over that, kind of toned that down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to give him some makeup. Another piece that I lost in translation also is, as I was doing this, going back a second, what I lost was after this dried, and the reason I did all this on top of a gloss coat is I took a little bit of thinners, and what I did is over the brow furrows we did, I wiped that, which removed the white and revealed the skin color underneath. And I haphazardly did it on the nose, I did a little bit on the sides, and made it look like he had wiped his brow with the back of his hand and removed the makeup. So it added, again, more points of interest to the mask, just like the actual character was in the movie also. Then after that, we got some charcoal Ceramcoat paint. Go here next. Where is it? Wait for it. Wait for it. So we got the Ceramcoat dark charcoal, okay, mixed it with some black to make it darker. I didn't want to use black. I know his makeup was black, but I just felt the black was too stark, so I darkened up the charcoal, used that, and then started painting out over all the gouges in the eye area that I did before, okay, and just roughly did it, fading out to create the makeup, the eye makeup from from the Joker. And you can see here where the white was removed, and you can see the skin tone underneath. See how it's all haphazard? Sweat, all that, removed it. Okay? And we just kept going, bringing it down, using references online on how to do this. Okay, if I pause it here for a second, I just want you to see. What was I just looking? Oh, yeah. So you got the roughness, and here's what I wanted to show you. What I also added when I cut his mouth line in, I cut completely through the mask. But then towards the top, I just cut the surface, okay? Gouged it out, so now it has that stitched look, the cut stitched look that the Joker had. I just thought it was cool. Adds a little bit more personality to the mask. You can see, again, you can see the skin color coming through here. It's very blotchy. Same with here. It's starting to look messy, but it's a good messy, I think. I think it looks pretty cool. It's starting to come together as the Joker. All right, now just using some red craft acrylics, start on the mouth area. You can see here we're starting to fill the mouth up with the red. And we'll expand that out after a while. Starting to come together. And then there you go. It's got that messiness. Kind of like that ant that you had as a kid growing up with the makeup all over the place. And she's done kissing you and it's like, ugh, all messy lipstick. Now, what I'm doing here to add some more contrast. Let me go back a second. Okay, what I've done here now is, again, the demarcation line between the black of the eye and the face is too dark. So I wanted to blend that in, have it a more softer fade. And what I did for that, as you can see here, it's a little softer, is I got out some chalks. Okay, rubbed the chalk on some sandpaper, got a pile of it, and started blending it in along the black. Okay, and it gave it a little bit of a softer look to it. Okay, I used the brush at first, and to tell you the truth, it really wasn't coming out the way I'd hoped. What I ended up doing eventually is I just put it on the tip of my fingers and just rubbing my fingers in it. It actually made a better going of it. And then, of course, when we're done, we're going to coat over all this in dull coat, and it really blends it in a little bit better. Okay. And we're also going to do the chalk trick with the mouth. We're going to take some red chalk, make a nice powder out of it, and then blend it in on the edges and stuff like that, and give it a little softer look and a messy look. Okay, and that's where we are. Next step, we got some more chalks on our hands, and we started doing the edges of the mask with the black and brown chalks to give it a dirty appearance, where it's always handled. The mask is always handled. It's going to be the dirtiest, which is the edges. That's what we're doing there. Just rubbing it into the cracks and crevices and all the imperfections in the plastic and everything. It gives it a real well-worn look. Alright. Random dirtiness across the mask itself. Try to put some into the furrows in his brows, make them stick out a little bit better. Anywhere that look clean, we want to just add a little powder to it. Again, make it look aged. So we're going to do 2 coats of clear on here, seal it all in, let that dry, and then lastly we're going to throw a dull coat on it because the Joker isn't really a shiny person. We want to add a little bit of dullness to it, make it look more used and worn. So we put dull coat on it, and then we're done. And there you have it. Joker mask, a la Friday the 13th style. It's pretty cool. It's pretty funny, actually. First time trying it, I thought it was pretty fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Something completely different than what I normally do. I'll put some stills up at the end of this video. And until next time, guys, be strong. Why so serious?